Welcome back to another episode of the Pressure Washing Pastor. I'm your host, Joshua Brown, and I am stoked to be able to bring to you someone today that can add so much value to your company, but they're kind of like the cousin you hear about, but you never see. They're on the background. They're giving you a good impression, but you don't really know that they're working. And so today you're going to hear from a company called Nicejob, and they're going to share ways that you can grow and absolutely blow up your business. And immediately when I first saw Nicejob, I saw a competitor's website. I saw how sexy the review badge was, and I was like, I want some of that. And so today you're going to learn some tips, some tricks, and specifically how you can grow your business through media and this company called Nicejob. Before we get into that, I want to invite you to hang out with us over the next 6 to 8 weeks. I'm going to be bringing on new individuals that are absolute legends in the pressure washing space. I'm talking about folks that have been doing it for 15, 20, 30 years, and they're going to be sharing specific ways to become profitable inside of your business. And so I want you to go ahead and invite friends. Make sure you subscribe. You're not going to want to miss it out. The folks that we're bringing on have insight and ways that we can cut costs and raise our sales where we can end up making more money in the future. And in reality, if we don't make money, if we don't grow our business, you will not be in business in the future. And without any further ado, I'm going to welcome out my friend, Alastair, onto the show. Alastair, what's going on, my friend?
Joshua, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for having me. I don't think I've heard us introduced a lot of ways. I don't think I've ever heard us reduced as the cousin you never see, but I actually think it's perfect. The way we try and want to slot into people's businesses and be that kind of background power that's doing incredible work without really being noticed. I think that's kind of what we've been striving for the whole time. So I love that.
That's the new T-shirt that we're coming out with. Nicejob, and it's like your good-looking cousin that you never see.
Oh, yeah, keeps getting better.
Right.
Yeah, no, I love it. I love it.
Hey, I don't want to waste any time today. I want to jump right into the show. And you've got 5 ways that Nicejob can help a business blow up their business in a good way. Could you break those down and give an overview, maybe 30,000-foot view of who Nicejob is, what you do, and then the 5 things that we're going to talk about today?
Yeah, definitely. I'd be happy to. So Nicejob, the best way I can say this, and there's a few different ways to do it, but essentially we are a reputation marketing and management service. So it's software that's able to be utilized by, honestly, a variety of home service businesses. We see a huge amount of uptick in success with pressure washing businesses. And essentially what it does is it allows you to automate the whole review process from start to finish. So what that looks like is automate the way that you ask your customers for reviews. So when a job's been completed, that peak moment of happiness, as soon as the system knows, hey, this customer's ready to leave a review, we'll automatically ask them for you. We won't just ask them once. We'll gently remind them over a 2-week period. So really, really highly converting automated way of getting that review from the customer. So that's the first way. The second part I always like, and this is where the sort of bread and butter and how the sort of reputation marketing comes in. And that's basically what we do is we take all of the best reviews you've got, all of your most vocal, biggest fans, and we try and put those reviews in as many places as possible where potential new customers are making their buying decision. So that's putting the best reviews on your website, social media pages, creating really engaging social content so that your reputation is being marketed by the voices of your biggest fans. And that's really how you can turn reviews into revenue. And that's kind of what we're going to dive into in this session.
Yeah, absolutely love it. Just to give our listeners a understanding of the width of Nicejob, how many contractors have used your services?
Yeah, so I'd say at the moment we're up to 10,000 contractors, and obviously so many other customers unknowingly. Hundreds of thousands of their customers have been engaging with the software without realizing it. Essentially, what we're doing is we're acting as a vehicle for taking your customers to the right place at the right time and making it as easy as possible. So we'll go into this in a bit more detail, but essentially on the customer facing side, all they're seeing is a really nicely worded invitation to leave a review. And in 2 clicks, they're on your Google page, they're on your Facebook page, they're in a position to share their thoughts immediately. So on the customer side, we really focus on ease of use, and the same on the business owner side. We really want you to, the software itself is so well suited to an owner operator. Maybe they've just started the business, they don't even have that many staff members. It's almost nicejob represents a bunch of staff members who are working for you, and you can just focus on the quality service that you need to give at the start, at least.
Yeah, at the end of the show, I'm going to end up having you share how much it is, because the value return on investment, in my mind, it's the greatest amount of money that I spend, or the least amount of money I spend through all of my marketing expense. And I get the most amount of return with what you guys have created. And so at the end, I want you to share maybe a little bit of the details on how much it would be. But before we get into that, I want to ask you the value of what's called boosting your review volume. Can you help me understand what that means and how you help other contractors boost the reviews and why it's important?
Yeah. I think it's a great place to start. And I think how I'll tackle that is first looking at the problem that niceJob's actually solving. So maybe where a lot of these business owners are finding challenges when it comes to boosting review volume. And I think when you don't have a system in place, when you're trying to do this manually, you start your Google business profile, you want to get reviews as quickly as possible so that you can rank better, so that when people are deciding whether or not to use you, you have some really credible reviews there for them to kind of base their decision off. But I think the problem a lot of business owners face is their customers, and I'm guilty of this as well. When I have an experience in a restaurant or I buy a product, I might have been satisfied, but time is such a precious commodity these days. And I think, as I said, I've been guilty of it. Maybe Joshua, yourself as well. I might be satisfied, but I still don't take the time to go and leave that review. So there's traditional methods that business owners use, such as, sending them an email in person, trying to ask them at the door, say, hey, it'd be great if you left me a review later on. They have really low response rates. So I think a lot of business owners prior to using a service like nicejob find that it's really difficult to follow up with customers consistently without being intrusive. A lot of people are scared to ask too many times because, hey, maybe they're going to get annoyed with me. It's going to actually sort of tarnish the experience. So I think automating the process and having someone like nicejob who's done thousands of hours of research on what's the best way to do it, when's the peak moment of happiness, when do you want to send that invite, how do you want to word the messages which are sent over to them so you don't appear intrusive, that's where you can boost review volume. So I think, if you can automate that process, have it done for you so that all you have to do is kind of go onto the next job, hire some great people for the company, focus on the things which are going to obviously weigh into what that review is, being a really good experience for the customer. Allow an automated system like nicejob to do the rest, which of course we can dive into a bit deeper, but hopefully that answers your question in terms of some of the issues people traditionally have and how automation helps kind of solve those issues.
No, I appreciate that. I remember I originally reached out to niceJobs because I saw the review badge, or, it was this, if you go to Brown's Pressure Washing, if you're listening or watching today, you can go to brownspressurewashing.com. You can look at the amount of total reviews we have. You can see this little thing popping up in the very bottom where it shows, Susan just left a 5-star review, and it's a little widget that you guys installed. But the reason I originally reached out is because I had never seen a more beautiful looking way of placing your reviews on your website. And it looked super nice, where you can literally go through hundreds of people, and every time you get a review, it just pops up on there. But when I reached out to y'all, you wanted to not only share that, hey, we help with that, but we also have the ability to help automatically get reviews. And immediately when you said that, I thought, I don't need help getting reviews. We're crushing it. Mm-hmm. And man, was I wrong. Share a little bit about how automating your review process increases the volume and the quality of the reviews of the business.
Yeah. So as I referenced earlier, I think a really big part of it is the right time. So it's that peak moment of happiness. So the way that it works in terms of automation with nicejob is, I think many of you who are listening to this maybe already use a CRM, maybe a lot of you are at the early stages and you're trying to work out sort of which CRM to use. And by CRM, I mean, for example, a House Call Pro, a Jobber, QuickBooks for your invoicing. So nicejob basically integrates with all of these different platforms that you'll be using in your day-to-day business when you're organizing jobs, closing jobs, making payment for jobs. So through those different data points, we're able to pinpoint exactly when the job has been finished between yourself and that customer. Now, what happens then is that customer is enrolled into a 2-week campaign. So that 2-week campaign consists of an initial text message, which goes out right as soon as the job's been completed. Now, that's really important that this message is very quick, easy, to the point, on their phone as well. And of course, Joshua, I'm sure you probably do this in your own sort of practice as well, but it's always good to plant the seed with the customer. Still let them know when the job's been completed. Hey, you're going to receive a text message asking to leave a review. It goes a really long way in helping us get feedback, helps the business grow. So still plant that seed. There's always more things you can do. But yeah, they're going to get that text. It has a really good response rate. I think we have our phones always in our hands. So the SMS is always a really good one. But ultimately, life gets in the way and people don't always respond to that SMS message. So the way that the system does it in this campaign period is 2 to 3 days later, they'll get an email, very differently worded, again, thanking them. If they don't respond to that one, another email. So there's actually, in this total 2-week period, there's 1 SMS message and 3 emails. Now, of course, at any point in that process, if they do leave a review, they don't receive any of those other messages. The system knows when they've left the review. But if they do, really keep dragging it on all the way to the end of the 2 weeks, the final email they get is a very thoughtful, carefully worded email written from the business owner, written from yourself. So again, doesn't come across spammy, intrusive. If anything, it's just a gentle nudge and a reminder that, the review goes a long way in thanking for the business. So what we find, actually, the results are really interesting. You get a really high response rate to the SMS message, and then you also get a high response rate to the email 2 weeks later. So it's really interesting seeing those stats, because all of those reviews that come in on that final 2-week later email, none of those reviews would have been received had you not had an automated campaign in place. So the results kind of speak for themselves. So it's really, really interesting to see what you would have missed out on if you didn't have something like that in place for the business.
Yeah, you're exactly right. We, typically as business owners, you might send a text message or you might have something that's automated. But with nicejob, what's nice about it is that you can literally craft out for 2 weeks. And we've had people respond, providing us a 5-star review on that second week text thread. So I really love it. But now I want to get into maybe some of the problems that we get inside of the business. When we get a negative review, how does nicejob have anything in order to help us address those issues?
Yeah, so negative reviews is something which I honestly love talking about, because I speak to a lot of business owners, different stages of business. Some have been in business for such a long time. Some are just getting into it. All of them share a similar sentiment. And that, I would say, is it seems to be a fear of negative reviews. Some to the point where these business owners, they don't even ask anymore for a review because they're so worried about damaging, maybe a 5-star average rating on their Google page. But that 5-star average rating might only be from an average of 12 reviews. So they want to keep that rating, and they don't want a review to come in and then bring that rating down. It might be a 3-star or a 2-star or something. So when we talk to business owners, it's really about shifting the perspective and the thinking. I think we try to speak about how negative reviews actually represent an opportunity. So how it relates to nicejob and how it ties into our software is that nicejob, your nicejob app, your nicejob profile represents a central hub for all reviews. So you'll connect your Google, you'll connect your Facebook, you'll connect any site where you're receiving reviews. So basically it will pull all of those reviews into one platform for you. So for a business owner, you have yourself listed on all of these different review sites. It can be so hard to keep track of, a 5 stars come in, great, I need to respond to that. Or 1 stars come in, I need to address this quickly. So with nicejob, what we do is we notify every business owner exactly when a review comes in to your phone. So you can see when a 5 stars come in, you can see when a 1 stars come in. And I personally think that it's most important, that feature, for the 1 stars, for the low star reviews, because with negative reviews and why they represent an opportunity is that customer that's left you a negative review, ultimately they just want to be heard. Quite often they really just want to be heard. They want to feel as though they've been seen by the business owner. So if you have a system, one platform for all review sites, where you're going to be told immediately as soon as a negative reviews come in, and you then are able to jump straight in and immediately respond, the chances of you turning that customer's experience from a negative one into a positive one go up exponentially. Whereas if you're trying to track all of these different reviews which are coming in on different review sites, you might never get back to a negative review. It might be weeks. There's no chance of turning that customer into a fan, into recurring revenue, because that's the other thing. If a customer has a bad experience, if you're able to address it and give them that peace of mind that, hey, they've taken it on board, maybe they've offered a discount on my next service, whatever it is, that customer then represents more revenue coming in. It's almost like a new sale. So yeah, I think that's how it kind of weighs into the software. We're able to tell you exactly when they come in, give you a really quick, easy way to respond to them so that no reviews get missed. And then I think as well, not just the actual experience of the customer that's left the negative review, but customers that haven't yet used your service, when they go online and on Google, they might see a load of positive reviews, but I know when I look at a product, I'm actually looking for negative reviews. I want to try and see what the negative things which are happening with this product or service are. If I go on and I see a bunch of negative reviews which have been unresponded to, versus I see a bunch of negative reviews where the business owner has taken the time to address the complaint, whatever it is, maybe offer them something else in return, I'll come back out. That changes my perspective on that business completely. It shows, hey, if I do go here and have a bad experience, I'll be heard, they'll address it. It shines a completely different light on the business for me. So there's the impact negative reviews can have on how you handle them for the person leaving the review. But then there's also a whole plethora of other customers who are going to judge your business based on how you handle that review. And having a system like nicejob enables you to get on top of it quick and respond to it effectively. So completely changes the whole landscape of your kind of review listing, if you will.
Yeah, there's no way that a solopreneur, somebody that's out selling, cleaning houses, can also check in with all the different places that reviews can come in with. That is a super nice benefit. Mm-hmm. Any experiences that you could share, maybe an example of how a negative review came in and because of nicejob, it actually turned it into a positive experience?
Yeah, I work with a lot of kind of brand ambassadors with nicejob, and those who have kind of grown the business to the point where they can then speak to how all of these different softwares got them to where they are. And I heard a really, really good story from a friend of mine, Eric Green. He runs a tax rep network. It's more accounting, but it does still work because accountants still need reviews as well. He sort of explained, I think his story was how a negative review that was left was actually misleft. So it was left for his business, but I think they actually got the business mixed up. And I've seen other business owners have this, where maybe their name is quite similar to a competitor in the local area. Someone had a bad experience and organically goes to try and leave a review on the business. And that can be quite damaging. You know, if someone has given someone a bad experience and then that customer comes and shares that with you, when you didn't even service that customer, that can plant a seed in a future customer's mind. So by him being able to see that review come in quickly, he was able to respond. I think it was within 3 minutes of the customer leaving the review. So they probably almost still had the Google page open. So he responded saying, hey, thank you so much for the feedback. There may have been a mix up here. We're not sure. We just don't have a record of you on our file. And that customer ended up removing the review. Now, maybe if that was done 3 weeks down the road, if it wasn't done at all, that review certainly would have stayed on there, brought the average rating down, made it visible for future customers to see. But because they were able to get onto it so quickly, that customer it was still top of mind. It was still fresh. They realized the mistake and they removed the review. So I really like that example because it's a lot of times people think like, oh, it's a case of like negative reviews and I just want to try and tackle it. But there is actually quite a lot of instances where people leave reviews for businesses who they haven't even had work done from. So yeah, that was a very that was a very good example for Eric. And yeah, I think he was definitely grateful for being able to be notified immediately, because they're operating on so many different review sites. They may have never even known that review existed. It might have just lived there, just been buried by all of the others that came in, and they never even managed to root it out. So yeah, really good example I like to use.
Let me take a time out real quick, because you've just hit, on three of the five things that we're talking about: boosting your review volume automatically through having nice jobs, how to turn a negative feedback into an opportunity, and also saving time on reputation management.
Yeah.
And when you get into nice jobs, you may not even know the value or the importance of a review. If you're a business owner and you're looking to grow your business, I don't know if there's any greater way than earning a 5-star review. Inside of our company, like 8 years ago, I was trying to think, what is the most important part? If I only had one goal as a business, what is the most important thing that I can do to grow the business? And I simplified it down to earn a 5-star review from every job. As a result, we earn about a 68% 5-star review for every job that we do. And you're talking about a company that does somewhere around 70 jobs a week. And when we're getting 68% of them, that automatically helps the algorithm on so many different fronts, where we're more likely to be shown over our competitors in our market from an organic rating. And I think also with LSAs and with PPCs, paid per click, if you're not focused on getting 5-star reviews, I think it's an area that you can improve in, because I would argue that it is the place you need to put the most amount of your attention to, because as your reviews go, so does your business. And so today, we're super thankful that you're helping us understand the value. Is there anything that you would add to what I just said?
Yeah, what I would actually love to add to that, and I think it provides a really important backdrop for it. And I've got some statistics here, and I think the way that you summarize the importance of reviews nowadays is perfect. And I think the backdrop to that would be, so for example, 91% of individuals aged 18 to 34, and this is from Search Engine Journal, this is where this stat comes from, 91% of individuals 18 to 34 trust online reviews as much as personal recommendations. So this age bracket, 18 to 34, if you think about it, that age is, they are already your customers, but they're still new into it. For example, homeowners getting towards that sort of 30 mark. And these are going to be your customers for the next however many years. Like, this is just setting the landscape for how it is moving forward. How many of us go online to look at, Amazon, for example? I think a lot of us probably use Amazon, probably more than we'd like to admit. And I know the first place, whenever I look at an Amazon product, I immediately go to the reviews. In some cases, I might not even ask my friend who I might think maybe they've bought this product. I might not even ask them their opinion. I actually trust these reviews even more. So I think that weighs into another stat, which is 84% of millennials don't trust traditional advertising. And by traditional advertising, I mean, for example, paid ads. So adverts that a company has put together and paid to be featured on Google, Facebook, a website. I think the generation of 18 to 34-year-olds has kind of caught on to that now. So I don't think that's as impactful as it used to be. And instead, all of that is moving to the words of people that have used the product, that have used the surface. We're so interconnected in terms of all of these forums, social media. I think people now go around what companies are saying about themselves, and it's what are people saying about the company. So reviews not only represent a more cost-effective way of advertising the business. For example, you're not having to pay for ads like you used to and try and compete with big companies to list high on Google. You're actually having a more cost-effective way, just taking what people are saying and amplifying it for more people to see. Not only is it more cost-effective, but it's actually more effective in terms of people making their buying decisions. So I think that's that's the backdrop I would have behind everything you just said there, Joshua. The importance behind reviews is only increasing as the new generation's coming through and people are adopting technology and sharing all of their views with each other. So yeah, I think that's really important to preface.
Yeah, I'm going to get a little off topic, but as we get more and more into the age of AI, and
Mhm.
for it to be able to read your website and to read whatever's being placed on there, and I want you to listen to me, I'm a business owner. Do you think that Google and that every single AI bot that's out there knows every single word that's posted on your website, on your Facebook, on your Yelp, on your you name it? It knows what's being said.
Mhm.
And so imagine the power if you can have good things being said about your company and the services you provide. Even the words that we're speaking right now is all being, I would say, encrypted and listened to. So the more things that are being said good about your company, the more likelihood you can have organic growth and more people will know about your company. So I love it. A
Mhm.
little scary, but also it's something we can embrace, or we can close our eyes and just act like we're not getting spanked out there.
Yeah.
And so let me move to another conversation. It's number 4 that you wanted to share. It's about ensuring continuous customer feedback.
Mhm.
Why is this even important? And then how does Nice Jobs help with continuous customer feedback?
Yeah. So, in a similar way to the first point we discussed, and I think we talked about how volume of reviews is so important. Volume, as we mentioned with reviews, the more reviews you have, the higher you're going to rank, the more people are going to be able to make decisions on the business. If a negative review comes in, volume of reviews helps bury that negative review. So, it's a similar application for this. So, I think when people, and traditionally when business owners have been quite selective with who they get reviews, oh, I don't want to ask them, maybe I didn't do such a good job, then that means you're getting very inconsistent feedback about how well the business is doing. So if you go for volume through your reviews, not only are you hopefully going to get some really good 5-star reviews in that you can share and create content from and help you rank better, you're actually going to get a more holistic view of the things your business is doing well and the things your business is doing poorly. If you're only asking a few people every now and then, you might say you get 12 reviews in. Those 12 reviews might all say, hey, these guys are great. Like, they did an amazing job on my concrete, so timely, so punctual, the staff was so well dressed. That's 12 reviews. That does not represent necessarily exactly how well the business is doing, especially if you've grown to a point where you have quite a few staff members. So if you're able to go for volume, we have a system built into our software and it's called Topics. And what it does, and again, AI, it's why I love that you brought that up. We actually use AI to be able to find keywords in the reviews that people are leaving. So if you get a huge volume of reviews come in, say you manage to get 100 reviews in a month or something like that, the AI is going to pick up on how many times has someone talked about our punctuality, how many times has someone talked about how well mannered we are, how timely we are, the great job we did. It's going to find all of these keywords and let you know percentages of how many times these keywords occur. So you're going to be able to get a real holistic view of the feedback you're receiving. So you're going to be able to create and add all of this feedback into your messaging, how you talk about your business. And that means that all of the ways that you talk about your business, if you really focus on how punctual you are, it's also going to be reflected in the reviews. So when you're trying to market yourself on your website, people go and try and look for these things in the reviews. They want to see what you're saying reflected in your customers' experiences. You're going to have a really accurate representation of the good things you do well, and it's going to be aligned with what all of these customers are saying about you. So again, volume is so important because if you don't have much feedback coming in, the feedback you do have isn't necessarily going to be representative of how things are. So you want to know as much feedback from as many people, even if it is bad, even if it is things you need to work on. Those reviews that come in and say the bad things, you can learn from them, you can implement the change, and then you can take all of the best ones and use those ones to actually get more business in, and take the negative ones on as feedback and ways to improve.
It made me think about, if we start a new diet because we're trying to lose a few pounds, but we're only writing down the times that we eat vegetables.
Yes, exactly.
And we're not writing down the times that we sneak a chocolate chip cookie here and there, or, a pound cake or whatever that might be. We aren't actually being honest with ourselves. And it's hard to correct something and grow our business if we're not getting a 360 review. And that's actually what it sounds like you do. You ensure that we see our business in light of that which it is.
Mhm.
And as a business owner, why wouldn't we want that feedback anyway if we're trying to be the best business that we possibly can be? I love that thought.
Yeah. And that there'll be people listening to this who have maybe been in business for a bit and they might have systems in place to kind of combat that. One of which I hear a lot is some systems will enable business owners to send out a feedback form. So basically, it's a form which they send out to their customers, and it's like, hey, if you enjoyed the service, rank us five, like, 1 to 5. And basically, what then anyone that gives them a 4 or 5, they'll then follow up and say, oh, thank you so much for the feedback. Here's a link to my Google, leave me a review. If they send them a 3, 2, 1, they'll say, thanks for the feedback. We'll take that on board, but not send them the review invite. Now, obviously, the initial thought of that is, oh, it's great. I get the negative feedback, but I don't have the negative review. That's true, but it's actually a practice known as review gating. So there's a few negative reasons around this. Google really doesn't like it when you do that for a start because they want authenticity, Google. So although they are still trying to work out ways to actually identify who's doing this, which isn't so easy, there is a risk there. The second thing is it decreases the conversion rate of you getting a review. So those automated review campaigns we were talking about, the reason they work so well through nicejob is because that customer does approximately 2 clicks from when they receive that message to when they're leaving you a review. So they have minimal effort before they're typing in their feedback. If you send them a form, they fill out a form, you then send them another link, they click through the link, that's just going to decrease the chances of them actually leaving a review. So quite often those people that give you a 5 on that feedback form, they won't leave you a review on Google. They'll think that they've already left you a review through the feedback form. So if you do have a process like that in place, I seriously recommend sort of reviewing the kind of data, the conversion rate that you're getting on it, because you could be losing a ton of reviews by putting too many obstacles in the way of your customers. So I thought that's quite an important call out.
Oh, it's so good. I appreciate going into the details there.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about the way that we enter on to the interstate. Like I don't know if you in Canada, I'm assuming you guys, have little small roads that are going like 35 miles an hour. And then when you jump on the interstate, you're hitting 70 miles per hour pretty quickly. When you look at your marketing inside of a company, you actually have to look at it as almost like a jet engine. And the more fuel, the more thrust, um, the more lift that you have, or I don't know what term we want to use here, but the more explosiveness that we can have, it can actually help us generate sales.
Mm-hmm.
And we know that our lead volume and our sales are greatly connected. How does leveraging the reviews actually help impact that thrust where we can grow our business, grow our sales, maybe replace ourselves on the truck, and maybe focus on growing our business?
Yeah. So this kind of brings us to our fifth and final point, which is actually my most favorite to talk about because it really is that secret sauce, that sort of bread and butter. Because a lot of people, when we talk about this, they'll think, okay, I get it, getting reviews, responding to negative feedback. How does this actually result in revenue, business growth? So this is kind of where the magic happens. And really what it is, it goes back to those sort of 2 halves we spoke about at the beginning. The first half being getting as many reviews as possible. And then the second half taking sort of the top 5%, those glistening reviews that you look at, you keep looking at, you reopen your phone, you show your wife, those ones. So it's really in those, that's where the magic happens. And it's basically trying to get those reviews in as many different places as possible where people are making their buying decisions. That's what converts people. That's what adds social proof. That's what helps Google rank you higher. So the way that we do that is through widgets. So through nicejob, through a nicejob subscription, you are given these ready-made widgets, which is just code, which is ready to go on your website, for example. And again, if you go to Joshua's website, you'll see these in action. One of these, what they look like is, it's called the Engage widget. And it's a very small pop-up that comes up in the bottom left of the screen. And it comes up on whichever page you are on the website. So you'll be going on Joshua's website, you'll be clicking around, looking at the different services. While you're doing that, you're going to see a live stream of all of Joshua's 5-star reviews as they come in real time, popping up on the bottom of the screen. And it's just and it keeps catching your eye. You can't not look at it. You click it, it expands, you see all of them, you scroll through. So really, by that being on any page where you are on the website, it's guaranteeing social proof wherever the decision's being made. So say they're reading something about a service on the website and they're liking what they're seeing, and they're constantly seeing just this reaffirmation. New job's been booked by Jenny, reviews been left by John, all these kind of things. It's just really reinforcing that decision that they are about to make. I think traditionally social proof, it is a traditional method of marketing. People have been doing it for a while. For example, offers, reviews, being stuck on Windows, all these kind of things. But when it comes to the website age, a lot of people will take a photo and they'll put the photo of a review on the website. Now that's great because you are adding social proof, but in terms of Google, in terms of the algorithms, it's not good. It's a static review. Say you put a photo review on there, in 3 years' time, that review is still going to be on your website. So by having a widget like that, which is live streaming reviews as they come in, it shows Google that that website is alive, it's active, it has fresh new content going on to it every single day. Google doesn't want to put stagnant pages on there. They want all of the most active pages to be higher up. So if you can bring in volume of reviews and have a system like nicejob, which allows those reviews to automatically go on the website, not only are you ensuring constant social proof for all potential customers, you're also really ticking a big box for Google, and they're going to want to put you higher because that website shows, it's active, it's alive. People want to go and see this. So that's kind of how it works with the website piece. And we do a similar thing with sort of social posts. So all of those reviews which are live streaming through to your website will create social snippets and post them onto Facebook, post them onto Twitter, post them onto LinkedIn, all of these different places where people could be engaging with the business, because they'll look at a business on Google. And again, I do this. I'll also go and check out its Facebook page. People are looking on a variety of different platforms before making their decision, not just the website now. So if you're also ensuring that those 5 stars, those best reviews are being snipped up, you can add a photo of the work you've done to it as well. You can really gloss this one up and post it on Facebook. It just ensures anywhere they go to try and find out about their business, your fans, your most vocal fans, your best reviews are being put right in their face. They can't get away from them. And all it's going to do is it's just going to really reinforce a buying decision that they're trying to make. So that's really how the magic happens, and how your reviews actually help close bought business, grow the business, bring in more revenue.
Yeah, we're going to have you on in the future to talk about some of the other things that you have as far as the referrals, that where people can automatically click a button and it ends up populating a referral on their social media. So we'll end up having you on back on in the future. But I remember one mistake that I would say a lot of business owners make, whether it's pressure washing, is that when they hire somebody to make their website, they think their website designer is an expert at everything that they're doing. And what I have found is it's just not true.
No.
If you want to go around to about 5 of your favorite competitors' websites in your area, the biggest companies, and go and just observe what's going on in their website. I had to tell the people who designed our website what I wanted on the website. They weren't automatically putting nicejob widgets on my website. And so I remember when I was, because they would be like, hey, are there any websites that you like? And and when I visited other people's websites, I saw Susan just left a 5-star review. I'm like, how are they doing that? That's so awesome. And I felt like I had to be a private eye investigator to figure out how these other companies were getting these widgets, which I didn't even know what a widget was at that time. And come to find out, nicejob is actually the company that makes these other websites look legit. And you can be added to almost any website, whether it's Wix or WordPress or you name it, Squarespace, you're able to get on any website. Is that correct?
Yeah. And I mean, any our widgets can be embedded onto any website. And it really goes back to what you mentioned about the good-looking cousin no one knows about. Like you said, you see these widgets pop up in the corner. You don't know it's from nicejob. I mean, what we're doing is again, it's Nice Job is just a central hub, which is reflecting all of the reviews that you already have. And it's a machine which helps take those customers to those places to leave a review. So when you see this pop up on Joshua's website, click it, have a little scroll through. It's just showing 5-star reviews from Google. It's showing some from Facebook. It's showing some from Nice Job. So yeah, from the viewer's point of view, it really does just home in on these reviews. Yeah, you wouldn't even really know it was Nice Job, to be honest with you.
No, because you find out who made someone's website and you hire that person out and you assume you get all the things that are on that website.
Yeah.
It's not true. You have to find who makes these different widgets. And so I want to go ahead and get to a place where we're rolling up. We got 40 minutes on the show.
Mhm.
And so what would be the cost for somebody that is interested in getting this service onto their website?
Yeah, so the cost, Nice Job. First of all, it's really important to say there's no contracts. I know there's some sort of different similar softwares out there that will sort of try and tie you into a 12-month or something like that. We're very confident in the results that we have. So you're never locked into a contract. You can really switch on, switch off as you please. It's always month to month. And the cost, it's in USD, it's $75 a month. So again, it kind of goes back to that point we mentioned, the value which Nice Job brings and the people that we see have success with this business. If you use the software and you're able to bring in X number of reviews, say you're able to bring in an extra, I don't know, some people get 30 reviews a week, but let's just say 10 reviews a week. If just one of those reviews, whether it's being shared in a social post, whether it's being pushed through to the website, being put in front of someone making a business decision, a buying decision, if just one of those reviews is able to help you convert one extra customer a month, depending on, I know different businesses have different price points, but a lot of business owners we see, if getting reviews through Nice Job helps you bring in one extra piece of business a month, it's already going to pay off the subscription. So honestly, the majority of our users, I think, if not all of the users that we have who are having success, it's not even a cost for the business. The software is paying itself off and then some. So yeah, for a lot of these businesses, that's why it's sometimes you'll hear set it and forget it associated with us, because people just turn it on. Our team helps you get it all set up so it's working how you want, and you just go off and just watch your business grow.
Yeah, 100%. $75 for those that are listening. You're thinking about opening a business. You've already opened. Your average cost per conversion can actually be about $75 for a new Google lead. And so for the price of a conversion, you can actually get about 5 different widgets that are connected to Nice Jobs. And so if you're interested, make sure you give Nice Jobs. I'll have a link inside of the show notes. And then if you end up reaching out to Alastair, I'm sure they would be loving to get to chat with you. Do they get to meet with you in person, or would it be one of your friends?
So we have an activations team who, I mean, they are the geniuses when it comes to hopping on a 20-minute call, getting the whole thing set up. Maybe if one of your listeners puts a little note in, I'll hop into their setup call and I can help answer some questions. I'll clear up my schedule for that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, in terms of when's the right time to act, because I know a lot of people might think, hey, I'm looking into setting up a business. I've just started. I've got to get all of my ducks in a row in these other areas. There really is no better time to act than immediately when it comes to this, because, and this is almost a whole other conversation, but you need to be building up your business's online presence as soon as possible. It should be the first priority. Obviously, you need to get business through the door so that you can actually build the reputation, but you need to have a system in place that enables you to scale. So as soon as you can I always like to say, just set yourself a goal, set yourself a business goal of getting to 100 Google reviews as quickly as possible, so that the algorithm will start taking you seriously. You'll really see everything else have a positive knock-on effect from that. And I know, Joshua, we've spoken about this in depth, and I know all of us probably, if you've been in business for the last 4 years, let's say, you'll know how hard certain situations can be for a business, whether it's economic downturn, whether it's a pandemic. We never know when one of those things are going to hit again. So from a business's point of view, when that does happen, the one thing, your last line of defense is your reputation, what people think about you, the experiences people have had with you. If you go into one of those situations and you don't have that buffer, then you're going to fall by the wayside, and all of the hard work that you've done isn't going to be reflected, and it's not going to. Sadly, I've seen a lot of businesses go under because they didn't have that kind of how they actually are as a business hasn't been reflected on places like Google, Facebook, and it's a real shame to see. So no better time to act right now. You'll always get a 2-week free trial with nicejob. So come and try us out. Whether or not you continue beyond that, the reason we set it at 2 weeks is to enroll all of your customers, try and get a full campaign going. So at minimum, try and bring you in as many reviews as possible. And we're doing 50% off the first 2 months with us. So if you do go beyond that 2-week free trial, you'll have nicejob at 50% off for the first 2 months. So $37.50.
That's incredible. And I'll put that link inside the show notes, and all you do is have to click it, sign up. Next thing you know, you'll be on your way to 100 5-star reviews. Alastair, thank you for your time today. You've been incredible. Love the Irish green. Didn't know if you wore that for the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. If so, go Irish. If not, go Irish. We'll see you in the future.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on.